I have to be honest, if I'm on a beach and this thing comes out of the sea and starts charging up at the beach at me, it's going to make my heartbeat go up a little bit. Welcome to First Impressions. Hello, welcome to Model Kit Stuff, welcome to First Impressions. My name is Jason and today our First Impressions is of this. It's the brand new tool, US Navy Patrol Air Cushioned Vehicle, late production version, or what we call in the UK a hovercraft. It's from Gecko Models, it's 35GMM0101. product number, which I think means 101st kit from Gecko Models in 35 scale. So it's a 135 hovercraft as used by the US Navy, and doesn't it look good? I mean, they've really captured how mean this vehicle looks on the artwork. I love it. So yeah, this has just come out. I'm recording this early December 2024. I've had it a couple of days, so it is now in the shops as you see this, and it's quite a big thick box, and I have to tell you, it is fairly full, the box, not completely but fairly full. On the sides we pretty much tell you the same as what's on the top of the box. On this side we've got an image of the photo etch, the decals, and it says in here 3D printing parts, plural, but actually it's just that, which is that some form of evacuation stretcher or something? I don't know. Looks a bit like it to me. Then we've got the contact details, Gecko Models in Hong Kong, of course. And then we go to this side and we've got some CAD images of the completed model, which interestingly show her with her landing doors open and what have you. And doesn't she look good? I like things that are a little bit different, and that is ticking all of my boxes right now. Okay, without further ado, let's have a look at the instructions. I should say the box is a really nice top opening box, fully corrugated with an outer flimsy sleeve, but that's just for decoration. So I really love this. It's a nice sturdy box. And then inside we've got our instructions. These were originally on the bottom, I've fished them up to the top. And you can see we've got a bit of space in the box, and there is a bit of space for things to move around. But it is fairly tightly packed. Some things in heat sealed bags, other things in Ziploc bags. Quite what the logic is between two different bags, I don't know, but there you go. Right, instruction time. So our instruction booklet is full colour, it's stapled in a landscape format, has the box art image on there next to, in various different languages, a little bit of history, tells us about the use of the vehicle in the 60s. Then when we turn over the page, we've got some pre-assembly instructions, some warnings, our key, so quite a large key there, some recommended tools, and some information on the correct method of applying decals. So I always find it interesting to see what they say, because they all say something slightly different. Yeah, okay. It says dip in cold water. A lot of people say dip in warm water. So what's correct? Then we have our sprue map. We can't actually see the numbers, so you can just do a quick reference that you've got everything in the kit that you're supposed to have, but that's pretty much about it. You can't use them in the build for cross-referencing the parts. Seems that we have two sets of decals and some photo etch. Yeah, okay, and what this big tray must be the bottom of the vehicle. That's interesting. Right, turning over the page, and our first step, we are building in parts for the interior. Okay, so all sorts of little bits and pieces being made. That looks like a seat frame or something. They look like pedals, but whether they are, I don't know. I'm guessing it is, because that looks very much like a seat frame. Bulkhead going in. Then we're building up some ammunition boxes by the look of them, and some seats. It is telling us some paint instructions here. It's telling us to paint these in khaki drab. And then it says internal colour navy grey. So pretty much everything's navy grey unless you see them pick out a different colour, which they've done on the seats there. Then we're building up more seats. I'm assuming they're still khaki, but it's not telling us that. Yeah. Okay. Then we're installing the seats from the last step and the ammunition boxes. So some sub-assembly work going on. Step 6, and we are building up another seat. This looks very much like the driver's seat to me rather than a passenger's. It's got suspension on it, so it's got springs on there to make it a bit more comfortable, and we've got some photo etched harnesses going on, which is great. Turn over that page and we can see those seats going in. Then we've got some equipment going in, radar or something like that by the looks of it. Paint instructions again, so that's really good. Looks like we've got some decals going on as well. So those numbers in the round circle are decals. So some nice detail for the inside there. We're installing the dashboard as well, with all individual dials being decals by the looks of it. So that's then fitted to some side and rear bulkheads, and then we add this rear piece to it, which has some photo etch elements to go on to add some detail. There's some form of radiator grille, and then the fan casing, and we can see that's going to be the upper part. So this is upside down, that will get inverted, so we can see we're building the little thing that the fan goes in, which creates all the creates the lift, of course. I don't know a lot about it, but I do know a very basic amount. Then we've got ammunition boxes being built up with decals going on and additional paint instructions. Got some holes to drill, and then we're putting the top part of the fuselage onto this centre bit, the interior that we've built up. Then turning it back upside down to add some front panelling detail. And then we've got some boxes going in of various types. Then we are mounting, we're mounting this on top of that, so there's like a flat base, and then we've got skirt sections that go around, some bits and pieces going on top. We're then building the cabin exterior structure. Looks like the glazing's being added from the outside, but it also looks like the glazing's got the seal moulded in. Okay, so that's interesting. You'll have to that'd be good if you could mask those off and paint the seal on before you glue them into place. We'd have to have a look at that when we're building. Okay, building up the gun position, building up the gun, adding those in. Then we've got the front windscreen. We have a windscreen and wiper, and that looks to be plastic parts, which is nice. Then we've got this front door section here that drops down. So that's how to build it in the closed position. Then our next instruction is how to build it in the open position. So different construction. It's not got a hinge mechanism to allow that to be done. Open ammunition boxes being pulled together and painted. And then we've got this gun tub being put together, guns going in, and then we've got, I mean, this looks very much like a helicopter, doesn't it? So whatever that is, obviously going on the top of the vehicle there, is being put together. We've got some fairly small parts going on. Then we've got the propeller, individual blades, quite a complex little assembly there, and we can see that being mounted on. Then we've got some armoured protection going on. Yeah. Little photo etch clips here and there appearing. Aerials, grab handles, some form of boom or hook or something like that, all being put on. Then we've got some more detail going on the side. I'm not quite sure what that is. Another storage box of some type. Yeah, I'm not sure what some of this is. And that looks like it could be a winch or something. I don't know. Then we've got some railing going in. Then we're doing pretty much the same on the other side. Okay, then we're adding some photo etch harnesses to what I'm fairly sure is for airlifting and injured people. It's like a stretcher. Fairly sure that's what that is. And that's being mounted onto this wood slats here. Then we're building up the tail. I don't know whether it's actually called a tail on a hovercraft or not. But yeah, building that up, so that looks like it's fairly nicely detailed with all the bracings as well. Very, very nice. And then that's our finished model. So 36 steps. You can build it open or closed. Lots of detail inside there. I think that's very nice. Right, then we've got our first paint option, and they're quoting mission models, just mission models colours, but they are listing the colours, so you should be able to find your own as you wish. So this one is in green, US Navy, and we've got, this is the one off the front artwork with the yellow eyes and the pumpkin jack mouth. Yeah, that's very nice. Then option 2, very similar but certainly different colour eyes, and yeah, I think the mouth is actually different. Yeah, it is different mouth. Option 3, again, different mouth, different eyes, but fundamentally the same. They're all fundamentally the same. And then option 4, red eyes and a different mouth again. Let me just check the decal number. 29, 28, 29, 30. So we've got 3 different styles of mouths that can be used across 4 options. Okay, there we go. That's the instructions. Let's have a look at the decals. So we've got 2 sheets of decals. This is our first one. I've got to say they are quite chunky. I can feel them under my finger. They're really quite thick, but there is virtually no decal film around the edges. I mean, that's very tightly done. There's some decal film here between this white line and the mouth, top lip. That's probably the biggest bit of decal film. Everything else is pretty good. I mean, even the numbers are cut out all the way around. They're not sort of in a square or anything. So your biggest issue for silvering is going to be the US Navy word in there, but everything else should be okay. Don't know what brand they are. There's no brand listed. It does say Gecko models, so they could do their own possibly. But yeah, nothing particularly wrong with that. And then we have a second sheet which has all sorts of stencils on. We saw them, some of those for the interior, some of those for ammunition boxes and the like. So we've got dials and ammunition stencils and various other things. So a lot of repeated ones on here. Again, a little thick. We've got more decal film visible on here because it's spacing out all of our wording. But yeah, nothing wrong with those. And some comprehensive decals there, so pretty happy with that. Next we have our photo etch. You can see most of it is harnesses. So we've got harnesses for the seats there. We've got harnesses for the airlift stretcher. And then we've got some brackets. These were for mounting the aerials on, and some other little brackets, gun sight. So not much in the way of etch. So they've carefully decided what they do and don't need to do in etch. But part number 11, that's teeny weeny. I mean, it's a lot thinner than than the gate you're trying to cut away from it. That'll be interesting. Yeah, okay. Nicely reliefed etched, plenty of detail. Should look nice when painted up. Right, we're going to talk through the plastic parts now. I'm doing them in reverse order so I can put them back in the box in the order they were, and make sure that we get it all back in the box. There'll be photographs and some close-ups at the end. At the end of the video before we round up. So first sprue out is F, and the first thing that strikes you is the level of detail. There's some lovely texturing going on the seats here. Whether there's too much, I don't know, but they almost look like curtains. But yeah, they don't appear to be repeated, but I'm not 100% sure. These two look the same and these two look the same. Let me have a look over here. I think that's the seat bit. Yeah, not sure. They look okay though. Fastener texturing and detail is lovely. We've got raised rivets throughout, which is really nice. The bulkhead has lots of detail. The moulding is lovely and tight, very crisp. Same with the dashboard there. All the little raised dials and switches are really tightly done. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, lovely, really lovely. I mean, looking at the guns, detail level is stunning actually on the guns. Really nice. Cool, this is okay, this is nice. Bit of slide moulding going on there for the opening of the viewing thing. Let's just have a look. There's quite a bit of seam on that as a result of it being slide moulded, but it's not a biggie. Yeah, that's well, if the rest of the kit's like this, we're in for a bit of a treat. Sprue E, and we've got internal side panels. We've got external wood slats, again all raised fastenings, really nicely done. We've got the little railings there. Yeah, they're nice. Moulding is lovely. Yeah, there's no wood texturing, which personally at this scale I prefer, because it allows you to do your own wood texturing if you want, but I think it's probably best like this, painted up. You're not going to see the wood anyway, unless you're doing some chipping or scuffing or something. Yeah, very nice. There's no flash. I don't see any sink. It's just lovely tight moulding. Sprue D, lots of large exterior parts here. Very nicely done. Again, all the fastener detail is raised. Yeah, it's really nice. Very, very crisp. Sprue gates aren't oversized either, and they're all sort of on mating edges as far as I can see. So that's pretty good. Not sure about those ones, but most of them appear to be. Yeah, no moulding issues again on this sprue, so all good there. All of these are in individual bags so far. Some nice little details here, little brackets and stuff that are nicely done. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even these big, thick, solid parts for the tail, there's no sink or anything. They have been really, really well done with nice surface detail. Yeah, lovely. Really, really nice. So these 3 sprues all came in the same bag. So AE, AB and BA. Obviously they're the side skirts, and yeah, they look really nice as well. So we've got raised detail on the sides here, all the way around, all evenly spaced, and we've got material joins. And then at the bottom even, we can see it's been slide moulded. At the bottom even, we've got little detail. You can see that all the way around. I mean, it's really nicely done. Yeah. Yeah, so some lovely sections there that are clearly, they've done this in black as well, so you could actually put this on without painting it, I guess is their thought process. Although really, if you want to do a good job, you need to be painting it and weathering it. But yeah, very, very interesting. So I'm guessing that's the rear section, that's the very front, 2 front corners, 2 side pieces. So next up we've got sprue GA and sprue GB. All 8 of these sprues, there's 4 of each, were in one bag. So we've got 4 of each sprue. GA deals with our propeller. So we've got 1 propeller blade, 3 blades for inside the vortex. We've got some wing nut fasteners. What looks like the windscreen wiper blade to me. Not sure why we need 4 of those. But I might be wrong, it might not be. And parts for the build-up of the propeller blades. Fair amount of seam on the propeller blade, so a little bit of careful cleaning up. But otherwise, nice and tight, and again, lots of raised fastener detail on the blades here, which is really nice given the size. Very well done. Then on GB, we've got ammunition boxes. We saw there was quite a few of those built up for different places in the model. And again, very crisply moulded. They look authentically like pressed tin metal boxes. They've got their fasteners on all down and their handles on all down. Not an issue for a lot of us, but for some people they might want to show them open or the handles in different positions. So a little bit of something for the aftermarket boys there, I think, if they want. Clear parts now, and I spotted this in the instructions, but it didn't register with me quite what it was. One of these side windows actually has an opening, an open space. I'm not quite sure what that's for, but it's sort of textured like it's a Perspex foldable window rather than a set-in window, so not quite sure. It's all okay. I don't see any issues such as spidering or anything like that. Yeah, it all looks nice. It all looks fairly crisp. I can see in the light that it's a bit bumpy, and therefore we're going to get some distortion. Actually, not too... yeah, these 2 windows, there's quite a bit of distortion going on with those. So you can see the line breaking up and wobbling behind it. So if you've got a figure right up there, he might look a little bit distorted. But actually, just generally, with nothing hard up against the window, they're very, very clear once there's something behind them. So I think they're okay. I've definitely seen better, but often clear parts are the weakness of a kit, and this is no exception. but some nice moulding. We've got raised fastener detail around the seals of the windows there. So and you've got curved corners. So we need someone to come out with some die cut masks, because making your own masks will be a little bit tricky. I mean, not problematic particularly. If you use a swinging blade, you should be okay. Yeah, no real issues with that. I think this lens here has a bit of sink in it. Whether that's going to show, I don't know. I think possibly not. There we go. Not bad. Sprue GC, and we've got, this is the main mounted gun turret. So we've got the ammunition boxes here, the ammunition runs. They're very nicely done. You can see the munitions in there. And then we've got a double slide moulded gun, so they've put a hole in there to allow you to mount the gun barrel, and then they've put come in this way to get the detail on the top, and as a result it looks absolutely stunning. Yeah, it's really nice. That Sprue GF, couldn't tell you what any of these parts are, but they are quite nicely done. Again, lots of surface detail, all raised, all really crisply moulded. It's really stunning, this kit. Well, this gives you an idea of the footprint of the finished model. It's not small in 1/35 scale. Obviously we're not going to see any of this in the end. We've got skirts that cover the sides. That's our bottom there, which is left open, and then we build on top of it. So none of this is going to be seen, but it does give us an idea of the size. And then this piece ultimately is going to end up on top of it, and it might go up about there, I think, pretty much. And this is a very different story. We are going to see this, and so the detail is important, and that's fortunate because they have really gone to town on the detail. So it's very nicely done. We've got lovely detail here. All of the fasteners are raised, as has been throughout the build. So the parts are just gorgeous. We've got nice shape. I don't see any issues. We've got little loops. They're so crisp. Nice tight moulding. It's really good. Yeah, I can't fault it. Hatch details are nice. Hinges look really authentic. I mean, it's going to be an absolute shame to not put a bit of weathering on this, because this is really going to pop when you put a wash on it and a bit of dry brushing and bring it to life. Very nicely done. Next sprue is BD, and again we've got quite a bit of slide moulding going on. We've got this helicopter fuselage, helicopter tail going on. It so looks like they've nicked that from a helicopter, I'm surely. But yeah, very nicely moulded there, with the slide moulding meaning that we've not got a loss of the fastener detail as it goes over the apex of the curve there, so that's really nice. Really well thought out. And then the slide moulding here is for these two little parts. I'm not quite sure what they are. And then we've got the gun tub and some vents, all executed perfectly. Really nice. And then in the same bag we get the other half of that tail piece there. Again, lovely detail throughout. This is the hub for the propeller. Very nicely done. Some sophisticated moulding going on here, actually. And then we've got the front windscreen and door. Again, very nicely moulded. Lovely and crisp. No sink, no flash, just tons and tons of detail. Sprue H, we have two of these, and we're dealing with interiors, particularly the seats. They're quite big. They are pretty big seats for, you know, for a 135 figure to go in. That's quite a chunky old seat there. Lovely detail again. The sprue gates are nice and small for these small parts, so no massive issues. Everything's nice and crisp. Got some nice buckle detail and texturing on some of these seats. Some really delicate ammunition. That's been nicely done. Yeah, no issues with any of this. Yeah, very nice all in all. Very, very nice. Sprue AC just has some panels on. I think they're actually, yeah, they've all got hinges on, so I think these are all sort of doors of some type, hatches, not quite sure, but they're all okay. And then in the same bag is a D, which has got the big radiators on that we saw in the instructions. And I mean, look at that. You've got this really tight curve here on this part, and on the inside we've got raised rivet detail. It's just, the moulding is just absolutely stunning. This is some of the best moulding I've seen. Then we've got this boat hook, nicely done. Aerial, you might want to replace that with a piece of wire because it's not tapered, so that would be easy enough to do. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So we've got more little aerials and hinged rods and grab handles and things on this one. Again, moulding is really, really nice and tight. No issues with that one. Okay, and this is our last sprue of parts. It's not our last parts, but our last sprue of parts. And we've got the little vortex creating thing here, and the housing for it. And I've got to say, it is so nicely done. Again, lots of fastener detail on here. Tons and tons of surface detail. It's absolutely gorgeous, this model. Our final plastic part is the cabin outer, and you can see we've got multi-directional slide moulding going on, sides and the front, so that they can mould this single piece. But look at how much detail is on here. Tons and tons of rivet detail, lovely texturing. We've got little anti-slip slats on there, and it comes down the sides. You've got no loss of definition on the fasteners. It's just really nice. Same on the front here, where we've got the curve. There's no loss of definition on all these rivets. Little hint of flash in some of the window openings, but tiny amounts. Nothing to worry about. And then on the inside we've got all the ribs in the roof are done, and look, the ejector pins behind the bulkhead, nothing in front of the bulkhead. Absolutely beautiful. That is so very, very nice. So you can see what they've done. They've put ejector pins there and then on these tabs and push the whole thing out that way. That is stunning. Our final part is the 3D printed resin stretcher, which is absolutely stunning. It is really nice, and it's just the cherry on top of what is a lovely kit. Lots of detail. You can see all the way through it, so it's nicely opened. You couldn't have done that in plastic. Painted up and weathered up, that'll look absolutely stunning. Right, here's some photographs and then we'll sum up. So there we have it, Gecko models 1 to 35 scale, US Navy patrol air cushioned vehicle, late production. What's my first impression? Well, this is causing me a bit of a problem. Let's go through it. Right, starting with packaging. Got a great top opening double corrugated box. It's nicely protected. Yeah, inside we've got big sprues in separate bags, smaller sprues in smaller bags. They can move around in there, and there is a bit of movement in the box, so not the best, but nothing has been damaged. So at the end of the day, it can't really say that the packaging is particularly bad or particularly good. It's just good average, I suppose. Instructions. The instruction book is quite small, but that didn't detract from your ability to get from A to B without any issues. So I think it was nice and clear, easy to understand. In the main, the build sequence makes sense. You were doing sub-assemblies before you needed to do a sub-assemblies, but only just before you needed, not sort of like do this now and then in the last step you'll glue them on. So I had no significant issue with that, to be honest. So yeah, paint instructions. You've got paint instructions throughout the build, including the interior. So although I wouldn't say they were detailed, they were certainly clear. Your paint options, they're all much of a muchness, but that's because they're all the same colour. So you're going to be a little bit limited, aren't you? So yeah, no real issue with the instructions or paint instructions. Decals, whilst being a little bit chunky, I think should go down okay, and the colours were nice and crisp. The register was good, and I was really impressed with how little additional decal film margin there was around them. So yeah, all in all, not the best decals I've ever seen, but definitely not the worst either. So no great issue there. Photo etch, nicely done. You've got some nice relief etching on there, giving you some lovely detail. Yeah, nice to have the seat harnesses and then 1 or 2 fine brackets. So yeah, all good there as well. When it comes to the plastic parts, I can only say they are stunningly beautiful. The detail is exquisite. The moulding is exquisite. The thought process through it has been really, really good. You know, you've not got any ejector pins to sort out. All the rivets are raised and looking good. Whether that's going to cause you a problem when you're fitting, I don't know, but it didn't particularly look like it to me. So very, very nicely done. Things that you wouldn't expect there to necessarily be detail on, there was detail on. So, you know, the rubber skirts and what have you, all very, very nicely done. So yeah, no detail left unturned on this. Really packs in the detail and does it really quite well. So yeah, all in all, a nice little model. In fact, it's causing me a problem because I thought I had my 2024 model purchase of the year all sewn up. And then this comes along and now I'm not so sure. So I'm going to have to think about it. This is a stunning, stunning kit. There's no two ways about it. And it's something very different. You know, and if you like aircraft, it's got a propeller. And if you like vehicles, it's got a windscreen. And if you like military stuff, it's got guns. And if you like sci-fi, it looks sci-fi. I think it doesn't matter what your preferred genre is. This is probably something you could live with. I think it's beautiful. It's not often that we see hovercraft models, and this one has been done exquisitely, and I cannot wait to build it. It is proper stunning. There you go. It's a beautiful model. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, and if you've been wondering about it, you now know that you need to rush out and get one before they all sell out, because that is a stunner. What a stonking good kit. Thanks for looking in. You enjoy your modelling. I'll be back with more first impressions soon. And if you're interested in joining the community, hit the join button underneath the video. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so. It's free. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can hit my PayPal link in the text below. Every pound goes straight into the channel to keep the cameras rolling and to do more fun stuff for you to watch.